There's one sort of overwhelming issue, and that has to do with affordability and access. That affects so many Minnesota students. It used to be that if lower income families could access financial aid and everybody else could pay for some amount of higher education. And that's just no longer the case. It's not the same as it was, for example, when I was going to college. I have one particular bill that in the grand scheme of things seems sort of small, but we recognize that it is a collection of costs that add up to all that student debt. My bill looks at trying to keep the costs of textbooks down. We had one testifier say that one of her textbooks cost $500. Plus then she had an additional $100 fee to access some online resources that went with it. $600 for textbooks for one class. That's too much.
One of Minnesota's greatest strengths is our higher education system and the hundreds and thousands of people who are able to get the college education they need to succeed. However, the cost of getting this education continues to be a burden for far too many, and for those who continue to struggle with the high costs of student loan debt. Earning a post-secondary degree is getting too expensive for middle-class families and is hurting Minnesota students well beyond their school years. Student debt is slowing students' abilities to buy a house, buy a new car, get married, and lead the lives we have been accustomed to. A college degree should not just be an option for those who can afford it. It should be an option for all Minnesotans regardless of income or stature. That's why the Senate DFL is reducing the barriers to higher education access in Minnesota. The needs of our workforce are changing. Every Minnesotan must be prepared for the jobs of the 21st century economy. This means students need to have access to programs providing certificates, 2-year degrees, and 4-year degrees. In order for Minnesota to continue to lead the nation in scientific innovation, investing in Minnesota's cutting-edge research institutions must continue. Other states are willing to invest in their institutions, and Minnesota will fall behind without state support. Whether it's working towards providing tuition relief, expanding access to grants and scholarships, or creating paths to student debt forgiveness, the Senate DFL is working for our students.
I don't think there's one magic answer. It's a collection of them, and some of it has to do with the way that our institutions are structuring their costs in providing education. Some of it has to do with making sure that our students have really good information about their careers and their pathways and their abilities so that they get the best fit and they don't, frankly, waste time and money on something that's not a good fit. And then finally, it's just finding some of these little things like educational resources where we can just make a difference.